The New England Patriots are back in the playoff groove after a 27-13 victory over the Arizona Cardinals in Week 14. Who deserves the game ball on both sides of the ball? We'll discuss that in just a moment. Stay tuned. You're about to be locked into the Locked On Patriots podcast.
You are Locked On Patriots, your daily New England Patriots podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello to all of you Foxborough faithful, and thank you once again for making Locked On Patriots a daily part of your New England Patriots coverage and also your first listen every day. Remember, Locked On Patriots, free and available on all platforms, including YouTube. So smash that subscribe button and download, subscribe to, and follow Locked On Patriots wherever you get your podcasts. I am your host, Mike Debate. I am joined today by who else but the master of the key turners. He is the Count of Murphy Fisto himself, the legendary Thomas Murphy of E2G Sports. Is going to pop right in here in just a moment to help us break down the Patriots' Week 14 victory over the Arizona Cardinals. But first today's episode is brought to you by SimpliSafe Home Security. With Fast Protect technology exclusively from SimpliSafe, 24/7 monitoring agents capture evidence to accurately verify a threat for faster police response. There is no safe like SimpliSafe. Visit simplisafe.com/LockedOnNFL to learn more. Patriots fans, it is always an honor, always a privilege to share the microphone with this man when it is a victory, Monday/Tuesday in this case. But so many monster keys were turned in last night's victory that I could not, in good faith, give you a recap of the action without welcoming the very man to craft those keys. E2G Sports' own Thomas Murphy comes back today. Thank you for coming back to me in friendship today, Don Murph. Welcome to this Victory Tuesday episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast.
Oh, man, happy to be here, man. When you asked if I could stop back in today and talk about the keys that were turned, I could. How could you say no? Not that I could say no to you anyway.
Well, I thank you very much. I appreciate that. But there is no question about it. The New England Patriots entered this matchup, Murph, desperate need of a victory to keep their 2022 playoff hopes alive. We talked a little bit about this in yesterday's pregame show. They did that. Offensive sputters continue to be there. A pseudo gauntlet of injuries, I called it in my game recap for Sports Illustrated last night. But the Patriots were able to fight their way to that victory, and they did it with an old familiar formula. Capitalize on turnovers and make the most out of it. Get points on the board. And when all else fails in the red zone, turn to the running game. And the Patriots have a budding pair of rookies in that running game right now that may be able to pay dividends for them down the line. That being said, game balls will be handed out on today's episode, and we'll get to those in just a moment. But Murph, I wanted to give you an opportunity to speak glowingly about the monster keys that you were able to cut last night, because from James Conner to utilizing the rookie runners to being able to capitalize off of turnovers, these were keys that were cut in your article for E2G Sports. And when you were watching this game, other than beaming with pride from being right as usual, what was your takeaway from the New England Patriots victory last night? Is this the formula that they're going to be able to use if they want to continue this run toward the playoffs?
Hopefully it is. The first key that I cut last night was to attack the blitz that the Cardinals seem to be in love with, and Mac Jones did that in a fine manner. He was able to identify the blitz, overcome the shortcomings on the offensive line. It seemed Mac was scrambling for his life back there from the get-go. But when he had time, he got the ball down the field, and he did. He saw where the blitz was coming from, and he filled the hole there with the receiver out of the backfield or a fine screen. It got a little aggravating last night how often they turned this key. I have not seen that many screen passes in a very, very long time. But going back to the key, that was the one that really got things moving. along with the two young running backs that they used. The other key that I had cut that I thought was kind of important was being able to run the rock. And after Ramondre went down, it was, by attrition, Bill had to go to the rookies, something that he doesn't like, and both those rookies showed up last night.
Yeah, they absolutely did show up last night. And we're going to get into a little bit more about the nuances of each of these rookie runners because we talked to Pierre Strong after the game last night, and he mentioned the relationship between he and Kevin Harris as being like a big brother, little brother
Yeah,
type. I really can see a budding relationship here down the line if the New England Patriots choose to cultivate both of these guys into their running game future. And of course, all eyes are going to be on Ramondre Stevenson. We'll talk about him in a little bit as well and the injury that kept him from taking most of the snaps last night. But bottom line, when it comes to what the Patriots did against the blitz, I think you articulated this perfectly. Mac Jones got the ball out of his hands. The Patriots game planned it that way. Average a little over 2 seconds for him to be releasing the ball. So their game plan was to get it out, use the quick game. I know Mac lamented about that last week, but it did work to their advantage last night against the Cardinals. And look, they used a lot of screens, a lot of swing plays,
yep,
and when he did utilize the seam, he was able to find some big yardage gains. And
yeah,
again, we come back to that. Kendrick Bourne for 16 yards, Hunter
right.
Henry for
All right.
30 and
30 to
39
39
yards.
yards.
So when those opportunities are there, the New England Patriots can take advantage of them. Is there anything with the keys that you cut prior to this game, Murph, that you think the New England Patriots maybe left on the table or need to do a little bit more heading into this game against the Raiders?
Yeah, cutting out the stupid. All right, it's just too many banana peels all over the field. Once
Mhm,
again, I don't have the number in front of me, but it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. It also third down efficiency. They were just 3 of 11 on third down. They held the Cardinals to 4 of 12, I think.
mhm,
But you've got to be able to move the chains on third down. Once again, and this is where I got a little aggravated along with Mac at the play calling. There were too many 3rd and 8s, too many 3rd and 7s.
mhm,
It's just so even 3rd and 11, 3rd and 13, and Matty's calling draws up the middle.
mhm.
That's aggravating as can get out. I don't blame Mac for being as upset as he was at the time that he was. Need to get into shorter down and distances, and so you can turn that key week in and week out because the let's face it, folks. The Cardinals are not the best defense in the NFL in any way, shape, or form. And we went out there and beat their second string quarterback.
Mhm.
I hate when I say we. The Patriots went out and beat their second string quarterback. Um, that's not going to be the case going forward. You're not going to face this defense the rest of the year.
Mhm.
They're going to have to turn that key at close to at least 50%, if not higher, if they're going to keep this up.
Yeah, without any question. And if the New England Patriots are to be serious about contending, especially against a team that, say what you will about the Raiders right now, they're very, very well versed in what the Patriots do well and what they don't do well. Josh
Yeah.
McDaniel spent a number of years up here. He knows how to pick that team apart, and they're going to be under the microscope this week. So if the Patriots can figure out a way to make some of those costly mental
Yeah.
mistakes and costly penalties be able to
Eight
shore up.
penalties for 80 yards.
Yeah,
One of them you can wipe out because that was a ridiculous PI call as compared
right.
to the way it was for the rest of it. But you can't give a team almost 100 yards in penalties and expect to win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those things can definitely take a negative turn. And fortunately for the Patriots last night, the defense took matters into their own hands at times, and they were able to put points on the board when they needed to, especially in the second half. We know the defense is definitely the story of the day, but I don't want to take away from the job that the rookie runners did last night.
No.
And we also want to talk a little bit more about Mac Jones and utilizing the screen, some of the alarming stats that we're seeing coming from utilizing the screen with Mac coming back from injury. definitely are worth a little bit of a talk about. But which of the offensive performers deserve a game ball from last night? Murph and I are going to discuss that in just a moment when this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast continues. But first, remember today's episode is brought to you by our good friends at betonline.net, your number one source for sports betting info, stats, news, and analysis. Folks, you can get all the latest news, odds, trends for every professional and amateur league out there, from pro football, the college bowl season, to basketball, World Cup soccer. They've got it all at betonline.net. If you love sports podcasts, you can even find those at BetOnline as well. We're the fastest, the easiest way to get your betting information. So head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in the action. BetOnline, where the game starts. Patriots fans, the legendary Thomas Murphy joins me here today for his weekly spot on Locked On Patriots, but little more than just a weekly spot. He's a repeat offender Monday and Tuesday, but you know what? I could not, in good faith, like I said to open the show today, do a show without Murph to allow him the opportunity to boast about the job he did cutting the monster keys and helping the New England Patriots to a 27-13 victory. Yeah, that's right. I said it. Those keys
Nice
are
one. I'm
being
listening to.
turned. Those keys are being turned over at the front offices in Foxborough. But Murph, offensively, the New England Patriots still continue to, I don't want to say sputter because I think that word is used a little bit too much in our realm in what we do. But there is still some concern on the offensive side of the ball. There's no question about it. A lot of Mac Jones's pass attempts last night took place either at or behind the line of
Yep.
scrimmage. Most of what the Patriots did consisted of quick screen swing plays. Not to say that they didn't work extremely well, but there are still some concerns, and you voiced these in the previous segment as well. Obviously, the offensive line protection needs to be increased. If they're going to utilize the quick game, the Patriots have to figure out a way to make it work better toward their advantage. But one thing that I was glad to see last night was the return of ground and pound in the red zone. And the New
Yep.
England Patriots did that with a pair of rookie running backs after their feature back, Ramondre Stevenson, goes down with an ankle injury. The time we're recording the podcast today, folks, not a lot of information on Ramondre's injury. We're expecting more either Tuesday night or maybe even into Wednesday as the Patriots are out on the West Coast practicing at the University of Arizona. So, Murph, when you look at the New England Patriots offense from last night, you look at the rookie rushers, you look at what they did. We talked about the seams, we talked about the quick, screens. What was your takeaway from this? Who stood out to you as the offensive player that really you could ride into these next few games for the Patriots with really must wins coming across the board?
Yeah, it's got to be Pierre Strong. He had a fantastic game. Kevin Harris also chipped in really nicely. But what we were able to watch with Pierre last night was really special. It's something that a lot of us have been begging for, and we just haven't gotten because of Bill's philosophy of rookie sit and watch, and they're brought into the fold after a year, that rookie redshirt season. Both these guys had a phenomenal game when they haven't had a lot of touches throughout the season, and you just have to tip your cap to the tenacity that both of these guys run with, and just the flat out speed that you
Mhm.
saw from Pierre Strong, and it was fantastic watching him drag half the Cardinals defenders into the end zone with him for his first NFL touchdown. He
Mhm.
didn't know if he was going to get another chance on the next down if he went down, so he made sure that he got in there for 6.
Absolutely, and he did. And give him a lot of credit. This is a kid that had blazing speed coming out of college.
Yeah,
You were very much on his, hype train coming into this, draft, and also with the Patriots picking him up. A lot of people were surprised and said, "Well, they've got Harris, they've got Stevenson. Why are they
yep.
investing not just one but
It's
two picks in running backs?" But the Patriots compartmentalized this, and now you're looking at why it's so important to
yep,
have real solid depth at that position. And when you have two rookie rushers that are capable of stepping up to the plate and really rising to the
yep,
occasion, the way both Strong and Harris did last night, was really impressed with Harris's 14-yard run. He comes in, does a great job. But you're right, Pierre Strong, if you're going to give one game ball to the offense,
Yeah.
he probably is the one that deserves it, simply because he led the team in rushing, and you're looking at someone that I think has the ability to be the next dual threat back for the New England
Right.
Patriots, because even though in his final collegiate season had some struggles as a pass catcher, he still proved during his time in college that he can do it and receive the ball out of the backfield. That, combined with his speed, makes him a potentially lethal combination on the field,
Right.
at least in
I
my
mean,
opinion.
between that, what happened at the start of the third quarter? Mac having to take that timeout and getting a little upset there as it took too long for the plays to get in, and then Strong to take that screen pass for 16 yards, and then it was a breath of fresh air. It was nice. I actually tweeted out he looked like he looked like James White out there.
Absolutely. And anytime you're compared to James White, especially from Murph, who holds him in the highest regard, that's a pretty big chunk of praise right there. And I definitely see where you're coming from on that. Before we take our leave from the offense, though, Murph, one stat that really surprised me a little bit, and I shouldn't say surprised, but it's just eye-opening when you see it on paper, given to us by Evan Lazar at Patriots.com. I want to credit him for being the first that I saw that was on this, but Mac Jones, 12 screen passes
Yeah,
last night. That was by far the most we've seen from him in a game. His previous career high was in week 9, where he
yeah,
attempted 9 of them. The last time, or last season, I should say, he didn't attempt more than 7 in a game. So we're clearly seeing a evolution, I guess is
yeah.
the best way for me to put it, or maybe some would say digression. I don't know, depending on your opinion,
No,
but it is an evolution in the play calling that the screen is definitely something that the Patriots are utilizing. 32% of Mac's pass attempts last night were off of the screen, 58 yards on those plays, a 4.8-yard average. On the non-screen passes, and this is where my eyes opened up. 13 of 23, 177 yards, 7.7-yard average.
yep.
Murph, in terms of a sign of things to come, Patriots headed in the right direction or wrong direction on this?
I think it's the wrong direction, and,
Mm,
and and unfortunately, they're using people in the wrong manner. Why we are throwing screen passes to wideouts that need 15 yards to get into second gear, and you're asking them to go and move the chains on screen passes, and I'm talking about the Slim Reaper here, people.
mm,
I don't understand that. I don't. Mac needs to take a bigger hand in audibling at the line of scrimmage. He did a great job last night of recognizing blitzes and when to and how to beat them. But I mean, it comes. I don't know if Belichick and Patricia have told him not to and to continue to run the play that we send in. But no, it's not sustainable. You cannot win at this level throwing that many screen passes. You set yourself up to play behind the chains just a little too much. If they were playing a team last night that was a better tackling team, this might have been a very different outcome.
yeah, it might have been a different outcome. And, say what you will about the Raiders. The Raiders have guys on that team that can tackle. You've got to wonder
Yeah.
whether or not they're going to be able to get away with that this week, especially knowing how well Josh McDaniels
Yeah.
knows Mac Jones' tendencies.
Tyquan
So,
Thornton is a mid range down the field weapon. He's not
mhm.
somebody that you should be hitting in the backfield and expecting him to explode once he gets the ball for 10 or 15 yards. He needs to be in a pattern.
Yeah, absolutely, without any question. And again, we're looking at a situation where the New England Patriots offense shows signs of life at times, but clearly, still issues that need to
Yeah.
be worked through. And
Just
hopefully this week,
roll it back to the seam routes that we saw,
right?
connect time and again last night. I mean, it wasn't just Henry. Kendrick Bourne had a fantastic game. Once I described Kendrick Bourne as Phil Elliott from North Dallas 40, sitting there on the bench, just waiting for the team to get behind or something that,
Yep.
forces this coaching staff to put him into the game. And we saw last night what he can do when he's in there, when people put aside their petty little, differences that they may have with him. Because after his comments after last week's game, I was shocked that he wasn't a healthy scratch this week.
Yeah, we talked about this on Locked On Patriots last week about the possibility of Kendrick being a healthy scratch because of the comments that he made. It's good to see that at least cooler heads prevailed, and I think maybe
Yeah,
the need for having someone like with his skill set in the lineup with obviously with Jacoby Myers out
right,
really kind of tipped the hand, especially important after Devontae Parker went down with the
right.
head injury. The Patriots are going to need to lean heavily on Kendrick if they're going to be without their arguably their top two wideouts in
Yeah,
for Week 15. So we'll continue to monitor Jacoby's situation. We'll also continue to monitor Devontae's as well. But scary situation when two of your top pass catchers are fighting head injuries right now. Well, Murph, we always like to end on a high note here on Locked On Patriots, and we're going to do that because it is Victory Tuesday. So to the victor go the spoils. And the spoils this week belong to the defense. Great performances by the Pats, capitalizing off of turnovers and the return of the pass rush. Murph and I are going to discuss that in just a moment and hand out our ultimate game ball when this episode of the Locked On Patriots podcast wraps up. But first, again, today's episode brought to you by our friends over at PrizePicks. Daily fantasy made easy. And let me talk to you a little bit about how these guys work. You pick 2 to 5 players, and if they score more or less than their PrizePicks projection, you can win up to 10 times your money on any entry. There's no competing against other people. You're not competing against myself or Murph. You're competing against you and only the projections available. PrizePicks offers projections on any sport that you watch, including the NFL, NBA, NHL, college football, men's and women's college basketball, and so much more. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. Yeah, that's right, folks. It's that easy to do. They're safe and fast withdrawals, and you're currently operational in over 30 states and in Canada. So download the PrizePicks app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up and play daily fantasy sports. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with the promo code Locked On. That means if you deposit $100, PrizePicks is going to give you $100. If you deposit $50, they'll give you $50. So don't forget to enter the promo code Locked On at sign up for an instant deposit match up to $100. PrizePicks.com. Patriots fans, it is a Victory Tuesday here on the Locked On Patriots podcast, basking in the glow of the Patriots' 27-13 victory over the Arizona Cardinals. The victory moving the Patriots to 7-6 on the season and back into that 7th playoff spot. Right now, if the playoffs started at this moment, folks, your New England Patriots would be in there. But there is still the task at hand of the final 4 games, and the Patriots definitely face a difficult road ahead, starting with this weekend's matchup with the Las Vegas Raiders. Murph, we're not going to bog this down too much by talking about the Raiders just yet. We've talked about concerns, and we've been, I think, negative enough this this podcast. Let's talk a little positivity. And the defense, I thought, really stepped up huge last night. Patriots continue to have difficulty putting points on the board, but the defense really took matters into their own hands. Returned to, as I said to open the show, familiar formula of the pressurized pass rush and capitalizing on opponents' miscues. Raekwon McMillan scooping up a fumble forced by Kyle Duggar, takes it to the house 23 yards for the touchdown. The Patriots also utilized an interception by Marcus Jones, which
yep.
let's pause for a second to give a little love to Marcus
Right.
Jones. I
Thank
mean,
you.
I
Thank
mean,
you.
just absolutely amazing. The guy took just really amazing. I mean,
Give
5
him a leather
tackles.
helmet.
Yeah,
Give him a
five,
leather helmet.
5 tackles, 3 catches on 6 targets on defense, 43 yards, interception, pass breakup.
Yep.
That's a hell of a stat line.
That's a hell of
Yeah. Then you go on offense. He had 1
yeah.
catch for 12 yards, and then of course, the return game, which is
Mm-hmm.
really his designated job, his day job, so to speak.
Right.
1 punt, 7 yards, 2 kickoffs for 47
The
yards.
reason we all said that he was going to make this roster is because of what he could do on special teams. And,
Absolutely.
we've seen that throughout the year. But what he was able to do last night is honestly, it's Leatherheads type of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And this guy, offense, defense, special teams, and he excelled everywhere. And if it wasn't for the amount of times that, every sending good karma out to Jack Jones and hoping that he's okay and
Mm-hmm.
will be able to. He was pressed into a bigger role on defense, and he did not disappoint. This kid just did not disappoint. It was fantastic.
It really was. And for him to be able to become the triple threat that he's become, and I wrote about this a little bit pregame yesterday for Sports Illustrated. Marcus Jones is just emerging on as someone that you can count on to make big plays in every phase of the game. And as much as New England values its versatility, guys like Troy Brown, guys like, Julian Edelman has done that. Mike Vrabel has caught passes
Right.
from the defensive side. They may be onto something here. Marcus Jones has a chance to really be a triple threat like we haven't
Yeah.
seen in the NFL in quite some time. So tip of the cap to Marcus without any question. But his interception of Colt McCoy in the second half definitely parlayed. The Patriots were
Yep.
able to use that and create a 5-play, 63-yard drive culminating in Pierre Strong's touchdown. So you want to talk a guy that really had his hand in every aspect of it. Marcus Jones definitely doing that. How impressed were you with the Patriots' ability to capitalize off of turnovers? They lead the league in that category
Yeah.
right now. 85 points off of turnovers, by far the most in the league.
Yeah, when you see a stat like that, you expect to see a much different win loss record than the Patriots have. It just goes to show how much this defense has stepped up throughout the year, and the fact that the offensive play calling has really let them down.
Yeah.
You can the only time that you can really point a finger at the defense and say they didn't show up was on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you look at the job that they did in most of these other games. And again, I definitely understand what you're saying about Thanksgiving against the Minnesota Vikings, but this is a unit that really has strapped this team on their back
Yeah,
numerous times, shutting down, shutting out opponents, and really just playing stifling defense. And one of the big reasons why this defense has been so impressive is the return of the pass rush. And you want to
yeah,
give all the credit in the world to guys like Matthew Judon, who pushed his team leading sack total to 14 and a half. And the guy that I'm giving my ultimate game ball to, Murph, I know I'm tipping
yeah,
my hand here, but I do want to give an awful lot of love to Josh Uche. And I think most people would award him the
yeah,
ultimate game ball for his performance. 5 total tackles, 3 sacks. Really was the one that, I mean, if you think about it, he kind of set up Marcus Jones'
yeah.
touchdown,
He did.
sacking Colt McCoy, just taking him completely out of his rhythm. The next play, Boucher's right in his face again. McCoy is a little bit spooked at that point. Naturally, Boucher's able to force the short throw right into the
Right.
hands of Marcus Jones. Marcus made a great play on it. I'm
Yeah,
not
he did.
I'm not lessening what he
But
did, but
still, one without the
Boucher's
other, and
pressure, yeah.
it's a different game. Definitely a different quarter. Uche has 10 sacks in the last 6 games. All
Hmm.
10 of his sacks this season have come in the last 10, in the last 6 games. Um, Matthew Judon has been facing double and triple team coverage
Hmm.
over the past, month and a half or so. And Uche has really stepped up and been the other guy on the other side of the ball that is going to demand the same kind of attention from offensive lines. Um, you could say that Judon was I was a little bit disappointed, even with the stat line that he put up last night. That the sack that he had, he really wasn't even covered. It was just a straight breakaway to the quarterback. He needs to fight more against these double teams. It almost seems like on a couple of occasions he ran into it and just stopped and put his hands up.
Hmm.
You
No,
know,
that's a good
I,
point.
I'm not going to get there, so I'm going to save my energy, and I'm just going to stick my. Which was also a key that I cut was if you didn't get home, get your hands up. So I'll pat myself on the back for that one too. But there's a little too much of it, and when you're a Pro Bowl caliber player, when you want to be talked about as one of the elites in this league, and that's what he has been spoken about, not just by us but by national media this year with the season that he's having. It's tailing off again, and he can't do that. He's got to find that gear again and start fighting through some of those double teams because Uche is not going to be able to get there all the time. I can't wait to see what this defense looks like when Christian Barmore gets back and is healthy and is able to press the pocket from the middle.
Absolutely. And pressing the pocket from the middle always allows Barmore to take on an additional offensive
Yep.
lineman. That frees up things so much for Matt Judon. And now with Josh Uche's emergence, you can imagine that dual threat is going
Yep.
to be all that much more potent.
We've been waiting
Patriots
for it.
defense in
We've been
great
waiting
hands
for
right
this.
now. Yeah, we have
I
been.
mean,
And
I loved the draft pick. You remember when it was there? I couldn't wait to
mhm,
see him. And once again, it was just well, bide your time and wait, bide your time and wait. Well, the wait's over and the kid's here.
Yeah, he is here. And I remember distinctly speaking with Isaiah Hole, the host of Locked On Wolverines here on the Locked
Mm-hmm.
On Podcast Network. We spoke about 2 weeks beforehand, and we were talking, obviously, we were talking about Cesar Ruiz, the guy that you and I both wanted
Yeah.
in that draft. And I still stand behind that. But
Yep.
the Patriots were looking at other Wolverines at the time. And I do remember Isaiah telling me Boucher would be a hand and glove fit with a Bill
Mm-hmm.
Belichick defense. He obviously has come in, and Isaiah was right on the money. So again, tip of the
Yeah.
cap, my friend. I do appreciate everything that you've done, in terms
Not
of
that Ruiz has had
allowing
a
us.
bad career.
No, not at all. But Uche is definitely. I mean, if you
Yeah.
want to call him a consolation prize, I mean that was
Yeah.
definitely a great move for the New England Patriots, and he is paying dividends. And the great thing is that the it really has only just begun. Matt Judon said last night, now offensive linemen need to take notice. They need to step up and
Right.
realize who this kid is. He's going to have more of a target on him right now. So we'll see what Josh Uche is made of. But everyone in that locker room is convinced that this kid is a baller and really can handle anything thrown at him. Even Raekwon McMillan last night said 55 is coming to play every single night. It's nice to see that type of support coming for Josh Uche. So he gets the ultimate game ball. But who gets your ultimate game ball, folks? Please drop us a line. Let us know. I would be more than happy to take a look and be able to indulge some of your thoughts on the game last night. A little sleep deprived, as you can probably tell from my performance today, but we are definitely happy that the New England Patriots have moved to 7-6 and are moving into Week 15, still in contention for a playoff spot. In the meantime, my friend, what can I say? You're always there for the handoff when I need you. I appreciate you, and we always appreciate your wisdom and counsel. And the Monster Keys, folks, once again, I say this so often. You turn the keys, you go to the top. You don't turn the keys, you're never heard from again. The Pats turned those keys last night, so check them out each and every week. And of course, Murph, before I let you go, my friend, please let everyone know where they can find you and where they can absorb your great wisdom and counsel each and every day of the week.
Well, we just finished up another One Patriots Place this morning. Check that out over at e2gsports.com. I've got 2 articles out this morning, a couple of baseball pieces, one on Christian Vasquez's signing over there in Minnesota. God, you're killing me, Bloom. You're just killing me. And then the blockbuster trade that brought Sean Murphy, no relation, to Atlanta from the Oakland A's. And what the hell are you thinking, Atlanta? This didn't make you better. This did not make you any better. Oh my God. I hate stupid. And it's really difficult to call the Braves stupid with what they've been able to do over the past couple of years. But yeah, I just don't get this one. I'm scratching my head and my butt on this one. Other than that, I'll be tuned in and turned on to whatever Chaim Bloom is screwing up over there at Fenway. And you can always follow me on the Bird app at tmurph207. Oh God, man, the blooming idiot is just—he's going to put me in my grave, man. He's going to put me in my grave.
You think this is good, folks? Check out the man's written work. He does not hold back, and
No,
he is always spot on in
I
his
don't.
analysis. So if you are a
I
Red
don't.
Sox fan, in addition to checking out our good friends over at Locked On Red Sox, definitely check out what Murph has to say over at E2G Sports. In the meantime, my friend, continue, please. Stay safe, stay well. It's great to have you back here on the microphone, pulling double duty to start the week in style. But the New England Patriots gave us a victory. So smile and enjoy, folks. And thank you once again for making Locked On Patriots a daily part of your New England Patriots coverage and also your first listen every day. Now that you've made us your first listen, please make your second listen our good friends over at Locked On Sports Today. All the news you need, all the takes that you need, including the take of the day. So if you want to check that out, download, subscribe to, follow Locked On Sports Today on the Odyssey app, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. And again, smash that subscribe button on YouTube and download, subscribe to, and follow Locked On Patriots wherever you consume your audio podcasts as well. On behalf of the great Don of the Locked On Patriots podcast himself, the legendary Thomas Murphy, I am Mike DeBate. Stay safe, stay well, be the change you wish to see in the world. Have a great day, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your Victory Tuesday.
Wheel routes, seams, they work. Keep it up.